Hello, my name is Tim Lawton. I'm the Member of Parliament for East Worthing and Shoreham in Sussex in England, and I sit in the Westminster Parliament. Simply for speaking out about the industrial scale human rights abuses waged by the Chinese Communist government against the people of Xinjiang, Tibet, and now increasingly Hong Kong and beyond. Now, I travelled to Somaliland. China is very close to neighbouring Djibouti. It's a big investor in the important port of Djibouti. It now has a military and naval base there with 2,000 Chinese troops permanently stationed. China has big investments in the country and also the biggest creditor to the Djibouti government, a highly indebted government. So I was coming back to the UK via Djibouti for literally a 24-hour stopover for a little bit of R&R, but also for a meeting with the British ambassador for a debrief. I arrived at Djibouti. I had all the necessary requirements to get into Djibouti, but when I showed my passport and was then questioned quite extensively and was asked what my occupation was, where I revealed that I was a British Member of Parliament, then rather rudely put into a room which door was locked behind me, and I was left there for several hours not knowing exactly what was going on. I was eventually told that I was not going to be allowed into Djibouti, and I was going to be put on the first plane out of Djibouti. And clearly those sanctioned British parliamentarians are on a blacklist, and Djibouti as a country which is highly indebted financially and otherwise to China wants to do China's bidding, and that's why I was denied access and arrived back in the UK 24 hours earlier than I had anticipated. Now, this was a relatively minor episode, but certainly it's a further indication of just how far the tentacles of the Chinese Communist Party extend well beyond China around the world as Djibouti. Of course, that pales into insignificance aside the constant harassment, torture and violence that many people inside China, particularly those Uyghurs, Tibetans and those from Hong Kong who are protesting at the clampdown on freedom and liberty that we've increasingly seen over the recent years in that former British colony, but also their families around the world, which we've experienced. That's not going to stop us. We will continue to speak out in the British Parliament to highlight China's abuses at home and overseas. And this latest incident is frankly just another recruiting sergeant for those who want to join us in pointing out the dangers and the threats posed by the Chinese Communist government.